Hi Virgo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your February 2021 love reading. Thank to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As far as what we have in front of us, this is why I call the Bridging the Gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. We'll look at the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the Bridging the Gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's, but if you feel like it should be the other way around, then definitely trust your intuition there. Alright, so with all that out of the way, past energy on your side, we have Fertility, which is the equivalent of the Empress card, and Six of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. So a few different things come to mind with this one. For some of you, this could actually say, especially what stands out to me with this card, obviously we see some house pets and then we see that lion, right? So it's like, well, that seems a little out of place. So it makes me think of the fact that we're just about to have that Leo full moon. So for some of you, it could just be saying that you might have reconnected with this person and actually may have ended up conceiving in the process, so something to keep in mind there, especially if you think about the fact that if that is, when you actually conceive, when we do get into the time of Scorpio season, that would be when you would actually be giving birth. So that's one way I could see the energy playing out, but that's obviously not going to be for everyone. For others of you, it could just be saying that this is the potential you saw with this connection. You pictured yourself having a family with this person, and they might have just, felt like a really natural connection to you, where you just felt like you guys hit it off right away, and just, that feeling like you've known each other before. So that's what I see there. Pretty positive energy on your side either way. Past energy on their side, we have the Knave of Chalices, which is the Page of Cups energy, the Tower, and the Knight of Chalices, which is the Knight of Cups energy. So, interesting to see this Tower in between the two, but what really stands out to me with this card every time I see it is how it looks like he's trying to write a letter, and there's obviously some frustration around that. We could see the crumpled up balls of paper in the background. He has another one in his hand that he's crumpled up, so could just be saying that, they might have had difficulty communicating their feelings for you. But even though I do feel like seeing those two people in the background there, I feel like that's what they envisioned. So I feel like they too saw potential in the connection. But for some of you with that Tower moment, it could just be saying that maybe they thought that there was someone else in the picture. So that could have been what maybe held them back in a way. But with the Knight of Chalices energy, it looks to me like they did eventually come out of that and probably did express their feelings to you as well. Might have taken them a while. They might have even had to go through a Tower moment to experience that growth too, because if we think about going from the Page to the Knight, that is a growth cycle. So it could have just been something completely unrelated that they went through that actually helped them grow a little bit and finally feel comfortable expressing their feelings. All right, now present energy on your side, we have the Queen of Coins, which is Capricorn energy, and Contemplation, which is actually the equivalent of the Hermit, which is your major arcana card. So seeing this, we have fifth house energy again, which is romance, creativity, sometimes children. So it makes me think what we were seeing in the past position. And I feel like this is still you. Well, I mean, I was going to say contemplating, but not even thinking about the fact that that's what this card says. But I feel like this could just be saying that you guys are thinking over, like really considering, okay, could I actually be with this person? And I feel like you're leaning in that direction a little bit, but, you could still be a little bit unsure. So I feel like this is one of those things. The energy that she always gives me when I see this card in this deck is like, she has like that take it or leave it vibe, It's like, all right, well, I'm into it, right? I'm like looking your way a little bit, but if not, I could do my own thing. I'm totally fine. And then we see his back turned as well. So I feel like you're flirting with the idea, like, yeah, could we actually do this? But, I don't feel like you're fully 100% in yet. All right, and present energy on their side, we have the World, and we have the King of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that finally during Aquarius season, that's when this is actually going to wrap itself up as far as, whatever movement needs to take place will take place. For some of you, this could just be saying that they might be detaching a little bit and still thinking over as well. So both of you might be in a cycle where you're thinking about, all right, could we actually make this happen? Maybe feelings were finally expressed. Now it's like, okay, well, the feelings is one thing, but tangibly, can this play out? So that could be the energy that both of you are in. If that's the case, same scenario there as far as I feel like this Aquarius season is going to actually help you guys know for sure, both sides probably, if you're going to move forward or not. And that would make sense too, as far as we have the Mercury retrograde energy we'll be dealing with in February in Aquarius. So, that could lead to a lot of reconsidering of things. And future energy on your side, we have power. So this is the equivalent of the Emperor, which is Aries energy. And for you guys, that's your 8th house as well. So it could just be saying that, the intimacy between the two of you might increase a lot. This could also be pointing to the fact that you might actually come together this time and, come together as that type of power couple, because usually the Emperor, we see him by himself in most decks, but here we see he's clearly with someone. So could just be saying that you guys might actually get that forward movement and feel like, okay, yep, I'm totally ready to move forward. For some of you, it might take till Aries season, for example, so maybe you guys will still be feeling each other out a bit. By the time we get to Aries season, you might feel like you're firmly grounded and moving forward as a couple. All right, and future energy on their side is the Empress. So again, I can't help but notice we see the Empress energy twice. So there's definitely, again, the potential that you guys might actually have ended up conceiving recently or will soon, if not already. Or that could be some of what the discussion is about too. Maybe you guys are trying to decide if you want to take that next step, right? Like, hey, do we want to have kids? That's another way that this could be playing out as well. But of course, you could also look at the fact that we have the Emperor energy and then the Empress energy, so looks like a natural pair in that regard too. And maybe this could even be one of those things where you guys are finally finding that balance. For example, if both of you were coming at it with masculine energy before, that could cause a clash, or both coming with feminine energy, right? So now we see that natural vibration where you guys are going to be on the same page there. Let's see if anything else comes to mind with this. That's pretty much it. All right, so bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Ace of Staves. So I always point out to people that the aces to me usually represent the idea of something as opposed to actually taking action on it. But we could see that could be pointing to that power energy that we see there in the future with the Emperor energy. So it could just be saying that the fire might get lit under you guys again. We're actually really ready to take action toward the connection. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Two of Swords. So this is actually Libra energy here. And it could just be pointing to, that could have been their indecisiveness in the past too, where like we were seeing in the past with that Knave of Chalices energy and then finally the Knight. So it could be pointing to that on the one hand. I will say beneath that, I do see the Three of Pentacles. So even if this is some vacillation on their part, seeing the Three of Pentacles beneath that looks like they actually will decide that they do want to move forward with the connection. So something to keep in mind there. And all right, so let's see what we get from the Oracle cards now. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and what I'm going to be looking for is some jumpers here. So first we'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while without anything coming out, I'll just take that as a sign to move on to the next deck. But sometimes we get additional messages here, which could be helpful. Okay, got one there. And next we'll see if we get any from them to you. Okay, this one didn't want to go back in the deck, so we'll take that one. All right, so let's see what we got. Okay, so we have guilt, There we go. It says, hurting you was never my intention, but now it's hurting me too. Interesting. I mean, in the background energy, I didn't necessarily see anything that, I really didn't see any negative energy on your side. I will say, for some of you, that could be pointing to maybe what that tower moment was for this person, quite frankly. So that would at least explain, because it did seem a little out of place to me. I was like, well, maybe they just needed to go through a bit of a growth cycle in that regard, but that could be what it was, and maybe that could be also showing why they might be a little bit more detached. So, all right. So I still don't think this is going to be the scenario for all of you, but for those of you where that message does resonate, the way I could see these energies playing out in that case could be saying that that could be why they're a bit closed off in their mind. They might have it written off like, nope, it's done. I don't want to reconnect. But at the same time, it looks like you might finally take action toward them with the Emperor energy there, and then with the Empress energy, it looks like they'll be open to it. So could just be one of those things where maybe the retrograde actually helps heal things in that regard. Sometimes, like we say, if things are already off the rails coming into a retrogrades to actually help clear the air and get things back on track. All right. And on their side, we have Ring. It says, I promise you. So, I don't necessarily see like engagement vibes on their side or anything, but I will say, like we said, seeing the Emperor and Empress energy, it looks like they're definitely going to come around. So it might take a while, given for those of you where this message resonated on your side. Might take a while for them to warm up to that, but it looks like both sides will be open to moving forward. So hopefully that resonated with you. And finally, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here I'm just looking for one jumper for general advice to wrap up with. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up here, I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. Okay, I just dropped a bunch of cards, so that's not going to happen, but let me pick those up and we'll try this again. All right, part two. Let's try this again. Clear the deck real quick and see if we can not drop half the deck this time. Okay, there we go. Did get one, and that one also fell, but that was definitely my fault that time, so let me go get that. All right. So we have To Be Fair. There's the artwork, and the number is 38. Okay, it says balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. The Oracle's message: life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. You move from being, from stasis, to doing, from discovering, to loving, to letting go, to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause, there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. So, interesting message there, because it made me think of the fact when it said, going from doing to being. For some of you, I could see that where, like we were saying with that Knight of Chalices energy, they might have come forward to you with an offer in the past, And now it looks like in the future they'll be on the receiving end, whereas you guys were in the Empress energy in the past, and now in the future it looks like you'd be in the Empress. So it looks like the back and forth there. So hopefully that resonated with you. And then the relationship message says, can you find a way to achieve fairness right now? This is a time for listening as well as speaking, for understanding as well as being understood. There is much to be learned, and you will learn it if you remain open and objective, weighing options and considering all sides. Your heart wants to connect to others, so allow for a balanced exchange of ideas and actions. The best kind of relationship is one in which there is mutual benefit and each party feels heard, valued, and respected. Be fair to all. So definitely a pretty positive message there, and then that takes me back to what I was saying, to where, if this connection had gone off the rails, the retrograde in that regard could be a good time to actually get things back on track. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.